Moin Moin and hello ladies and gentlemen, Donspektor here, today with a quick first impressions of, and I have for you the Yanyin Canon. Yeah, this is I think $350, but after importing you will be paying approximately 400 euros for this bad boy. Hybrid IM, with an bio-cellulose DD and 4 BAs. Plus, it has tuning switches, and yes, it has 3 of them. And in this first impressions, I will just be talking about my first, I want to say, few days where I actually managed to listen to it. And yeah, where I managed to form, I want to say, like a first opinion, where I have not managed to listen to my whole benchmark library, but quite a few songs, and I've managed to even game with it a bit. And so I can tell you now what I think after, just, I want to say, a couple of hours, maybe a dozen or so. So really, it's just, again, still first impressions. I've not managed to listen all to my benchmark songs, and I've not managed to do an A-B comparison with, for example, Moondor Variations, which I got for like 450 euros. So that would, after importing, be in striking distance as well. So yeah, then I would say, let's get started. And yes, as you can already see here in the background, I have the graphs open. And I will be starting with the config that I think is most likely the one that most people will use out of the box, and that is AFA. This one, this is 0000, so like no switches active at all. Or it will be 1111, meaning all switches active. And I think it comes with 111. And when I first listened to this with 111, I was like, it's alright. For like the price I paid, like 400, it's definitively not bad at all. Like I was like, it's nice, but not 400 euro nice. I expected something when some people in on AliExpress also claimed, oh yeah, this is my end game. I expected something in the terms of variations, in terms of quality, what you'll be getting, but it's not bad. And maybe my expectations were a bit too high, but this tuning that came here with, it's totally fine. Like I have no problems with it, but it just didn't kick me. Like I was just like, yeah, like I see why people like it, but I couldn't like follow any hype with it. And then I went from 111 to 000, and that was not exactly my cup of tea. I think there are also quite a few people that will like this kind of tuning, again, more V-shaped, with a mid-treble hole here. It's kind of okay, like, if you like that, of course, yeah, totally fine. So, and then I started experimenting with the other switches. And yeah, when we have 100, which basically just adds more bass, nothing else besides. Then we have 010, which is basically the mid switch. And as you can see, this one is the tuning with the most deviation from the, I want to say like the stock tuning. And this is also the one where I liked it's the only tuning where I actually did enjoy the mids. In all others, I thought the mids were a bit lost in the mix. And when we come to 001, which for whatever reason also boosts bass compared to the other one, and it adds a good bit of treble energy. So this one would be pretty close to my favorite at the moment, like with 010, just because this has more treble energy and I like more treble. Like I'm slight treble head, and this one has more what I want. When we come to the two switch regions, and here we have 110, okay, and I'm also getting confused. That I did not like at all. It was absolutely not my cup of tea. Then I said 111, which we talked about. And then we have 011, which was also fine. I don't think it deviates too much from the 001 tuning. So I don't really see the point in this tuning so far. And then we have 101. And this one, just in terms of treble tuning, would be my favorite. It's, I want to say, the most agreeable for me in terms of how the treble is distributed and how much energy it has at which places. So that I absolutely did like, but, and let me just phrase that, look at this bass shelf. This is, like, it's humongous, like from 77 decibels to approximately 93. So this is it's a huge ass bass shelf. And my main problem with this bass shelf is not that it's a big bass shelf, it's just that the dynamic in here with its bio-cellulose it just does not punch hard enough. I have heard DDs, like single DD sets, that with less bass energy just punched harder. And I know people will like this feeling of, yeah, there is like a good, like general bass shelf, but it doesn't punch that hard, but you want to reduce it, like we just want to like up the volume. But I personally don't like that. I want in DD that just, it gives you the punch at low volume, and then you're like, yeah, this is nice, and I don't want to up the volume more. And this one just is not the case. Like you can up it and up it and up it, and you will never get the feeling this is a hard punching IEM. And let me just stress again, I'm talking just at this price. I think at a lower price point, let's just say it like 250, like this would be an absolutely appropriate like punchy bassy IEM with this tuning, or generally if you just up the first switch. I just don't think the DD at this price point, what I paid, is competitive anymore. And yeah, from what I've read, this is the same dynamic as is being used in the other Yanyin at the Aladdin. So that would explain why I have the feeling it's a bit lacking at its price point. But generally, I did very much like what you get with this tuning. Just with an EQ, I would just use this 101 tuning and then down the bass by maybe 7 decibels or so. Like a bit of bass shelf is okay, but not that much. So I think the tuning that I'll be most likely using will actually be just this one, like 010, because that just out of the box is the most agreeable in terms of mids for me. And if I would have to use EQ, then it will most likely be 101. I think also like 001 is fine, just adds a bit more mid bass, and I'm not such a great fan of mid bass. Like it's okay. I can live with this tuning as well. Like it's totally fine, just not by personal preference. I like a bit less mid bass, which still has a good punch behind it, and then a good sub bass rumble. And yeah. So yeah, that's first impressions of all of the tunings that I managed to listen to and managed to try yet. So really just like most of them I actually listened to probably like 2 or 3 songs. So that's why I can form opinions about like every tuning so far. But I just need more time to listen to all of the variations and get my like complete thoughts out and listen to my benchmark library in my favorite version with and without EQ. So it just takes a bit more time for me to finish and review here. And yeah, in terms of build quality, what I can say, I have no problems. Fit is great, like the shell is relatively small. Just another main problem that I noticed with the Canon is it actually has a pretty bad vacuum effect / driver flex. So if you don't like that as me, well, you can basically not use any silicon tips. Like all silicon tips will cause a vacuum. So yeah, the only solution I had is going to foam tips. And unfortunately, I do not have an appropriate foam tip pair at the moment, so I just used a pair of Kant Complis, Compli 500s, which barely fit, but they fit. And yeah, I think that's about it about first impressions. This one might have gone a bit longer, but just because there's so many tunings to talk about here, so many things to try. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, if you have critique, if you have feedback, please leave a comment. And with that, Donspektor out.